What's going on, good people? It's Kieron here.
It's your girl, Ray P. Welcome back to another episode of the Culture Garden podcast. What's going on, Kieron?
Not much. You're still getting used to the Kieron, ain't you?
I am.
I'm about to say, I know it threw you off a little bit. I know. I
It
said
takes me by
Just,
surprise. Like, that's
yeah,
not
absolutely.
what I predominantly call you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Please, everybody, please feel free to continue calling me Rich. Like I answer to Rich. People call me Rich. But also my name's Kieron as well. Just just to balance it out, just to make sure everybody knows. Because it's funny, you meet people sometimes and you know them by their moniker. You'll talk to people or know somebody for a long time, and I don't even know their government name or anything like that. So it's kind of funny.
That literally just happened to me the other day. This girl from my church, her Facebook name is one thing, and somebody gave me her phone number. Like, this is Angelica Pickles' number, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so I went to text her, "Hey, Angelica, what's your email? Da, 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 da. This is Rachel. Somebody gave me your number." And her email definitely was not fucking Angelica. It definitely was like Tony. And I was like, it's going to be weird if I say, "Hey, so this is not your name."
You just got to let it flow. I try to put myself in situations to where, like, what can I get someone else to have their name said or something to really figure out what's what.
Right. And it's funny because the person who gave me the number, I specifically said, "Hey, reach out to them first because it's going to be weird getting a message from me." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I did." She said, "It's okay."
Yeah.
Do you know this lady's real name or what?
Yeah. Or I might have to hit them with the hey, listen, this is going to be weird. I don't even know your name, bro.
Yeah.
What's your name? Like,
this is a code.
That's how it is. Yeah, just no code names, and that's just kind of what it is. But I know some people like that. You know, Jamie Foxx ain't Jamie Foxx. People, he's gonna go by that. I think it's Eric Bishop or something like that.
Okay. Did he legally change his name?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I needed to Google that because I did watch this special this morning.
Did you? How was it?
Welcome back, Jamie. It was, you know what? He had a word from the Lord.
I love you so much, Rachel. I love you so much, man. But speaking of it, Tommy Pickles. Well, first and foremost, welcome. Yes. Thank you to everybody for coming back. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Obviously, we can't do any of this without you. So thank you to all our Culture Garden family. Thank you to the first-time listeners. We appreciate you, man. Hope you enjoy being here, sharing the space with us. You were talking about Angelica Pickles and Tommy. Perfect segue into Childish Grown-Ups.
Hey, shout out to the fam.
Yeah, shout out to the fam, man. I had to text Mo earlier because they released an episode today. When I say today, I mean the day me and Rachel are recording. Mm-hmm. So 2 days prior to this release date. And they released Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Is it? I didn't know that.
And one of my favorite Christmas movies, absolutely. Me and school wore Jingle All the Way out.
Of course.
VHS, the whole nine. And I told, we always say, Mo says, hey, we're the Culture Garden's little cousins. I had to text him this morning and say, hey, bro, stay out my room. I don't know if you've ever had that cousin where you out and about, you doing something, and then you come home, you don't even know family over there, and little cousins all in your room, messing with you.
I didn't allow people in my room.
Even when you weren't home? Like, that's the thing. They knew. Look at Rachel like they knew. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. But I had to tell them, man, stay out of our room because I was thinking about doing that. Mm-hmm. Me in school doing it, but I'm gonna let it breathe.
Yeah,
I want them to go ahead and get their shine on. I haven't listened to it yet. I also, what I think is really cool. I really think this is cool. I haven't listened to their Preacher's Wife episode, and I'm very curious because you and I did Preacher's Wife. And it's funny.
Going back to back.
Yeah, because it's funny because a few days prior to them releasing it, we posted on our page about go back and listen to Preacher's Wife and things like that. I think something came up where I don't know what prompted it, but I just mentioned it's perfect time to go back and listen to Preacher's Wife. But I'm very curious to see what their takes are compared to what ours were, and I like how it's going to make me go back and listen to that episode of ours and then listen to theirs and just get fresh ears on it.
Sure.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them, man. I'm excited, like I said, for everything they're doing over there. Shout out to Mo, Mia, and Ash. Continue doing your thing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. If you know anyone who loves film, please remind them to come check us out. Also, if you love anyone who loves television, we got y'all this bite.
We got y'all this back. We told y'all it was coming back.
It actually came back. It came back sooner than what I thought. I ain't gonna hold you.
You are welcome.
Yeah. Nah, thank you. Thank you. I thought it was gonna be January. But yeah, Rachel texted me and said, hey, here's a trailer for this show. I told her I'm in, and here we are. So we're covering The Agency on Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
Showtime Paramount. You have to watch the Paramount app. 3 episodes in, we'll be reviewing episode 4 this weekend. It will drop sometime this weekend. So please make sure you subscribe to We Got Y'all. It's going to be active for a while because we have 4 shows that we're going to be discussing between now and probably March. And there's going to be overlapping and all types of stuff. We'll work all of it out, but please make sure you subscribe. Harlem's coming back. Raising Canaan's coming back. And White Lotus season 3 is coming back on top of The Agency. So all 4 of those will be discussed in that time frame. So please.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, Rachel, like, damn.
I said we're gonna do what now?
Right. But yeah, we're gonna work it out for you. We got y'all per usual. And shout out to, once again, everybody still giving us feedback. We had people shout us out on social media, still discussing the School Days episode.
Yeah.
We got a nice text message from Nate. Y'all don't know Nate, but we know Nate. And we've talked about Nate here. Incredible artist, by the way. Art by Nate Austin. Please follow him on Instagram. He big time now, though. He got like 10K followers because, that's who he is. But either way, he sent us a personal text message. You said what?
You got Brand still in his work,
Yeah, Brand. That's wild.
That kind of artist. He's dope.
That kind of artist. Yeah, he's dope. He's dope. But he sent Rachel and myself a message and also sent me a message that I shared with Rachel just about the show in general and everything. And he even left a YouTube comment. And Nate, he genuinely meant that. Like, I've seen him a couple times since. And he's like, hey, man, that episode's dope, man. I'm like, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. But yeah, today's film, there will be spoilers and explicit content. We're going to be talking about Almost Christmas. We're in the Christmas season now. Synopsis of the film: a dysfunctional family gathers together for their first Christmas since their mom died. I am looking forward to talking about this movie with you, Rachel.
Mm-hmm. I am too.
Maybe not for the reasons you think.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it. You were about to say something.
Well, wait. As we get into it, before you finish the synopsis, I just want to send holiday love to everybody grieving during the holiday season. It's already a tough time, and then I think that just adds an added level of stress and emotion. So hopefully you get a little laughter out of us running our mouths, and whatever else actually brings you joy in your life. Amen.
That's real. Amen to that, man. That's real. Very well said by Rachel. That is the synopsis, but I was just going to let you know it's your week to pick the movie.
Yes.
Why did you go with Almost Christmas?
I have no idea why I picked this. I feel like we were randomly talking about it, and I know that I watched it on Thanksgiving. So maybe that was the catalyst for us discussing it before, and I said, hey, fuck it, let's just do Almost Christmas. So here we are. I love this movie. I did not see it in theaters. My first time, so obviously, was an at-home special. That's it. I enjoy it every time. It's interesting because it's a movie that I forget about, and then every time I see it, I'm like, "Oh yeah, Almost Christmas is good."
Word.
You disagree?
I haven't. Well, all right. It's cool. You know, I haven't felt this way about a movie since we did Jump in the Broom.
Ooh, you hate this.
And you remember, I don't hate this movie. And Jump in the Broom really was more about Laz Alonso's character. Like I just really didn't like him.
Yeah.
But it was, it's cool. It's similarities, obviously, ensemble cast, big names. As Rachel likes to say, just didn't curl all the way over for me. And maybe this is why I'm excited to have this conversation, because there's a lot of things that I acknowledge, and I have questions for you about. And maybe there's a disconnect that I'm having, and you can fill in the blanks. So that's why I really want to get into it. Let's get into some stats.
Yes.
The film was released in theaters November 11th of 2016. Directed by David E. Talbert. He directed First Sunday, starring Ice Cube, Tracy Morgan, Cat Williams, Baggage Claim, and Jingle Jangle, which came out in 2020. He also wrote those films along with this one. It's also a Will Packer production. So it's under his umbrella. We all know the films Will Packer has brought us over the years. It had a budget of an estimated $17 million and grossed $42.5 million worldwide. Not mad at that. Shout out to them. I always love to see Black movies making that bread. $15.1 million the opening weekend, so it almost recouped his first budget within the first weekend. Opened up at number 4 in the box office, behind Doctor Strange, Trolls, and Arrival. Personally,
any of those movies.
I've seen Doctor Strange, haven't seen Troll or Arrival. Actually, it was Doctor Strange's second week, so they went back to back number 1. Obviously, Marvel, the machine that is Marvel. It's going to be hard to topple them if they're releasing a movie on a weekend. However, I do think this film might have benefited, and I don't know what goes behind the release dates. November 11th is just a tad bit early because it's a Christmas movie, and it's not even Thanksgiving yet when this is released.
Yeah.
Maybe November 18th, maybe November 25th, maybe that Black Friday. This might have been a perfect release, or maybe people don't go to the theaters on Black Friday. I don't know. I get it. I just feel like it might have fared a little bit better had it been closer to Christmas, but what do I know? I'm just talking.
I used to go to the movies on Thanksgiving. That was a thing me and my best friend used to do.
Yeah. I remember one year I didn't go home in Toledo because I was working. I was working retail at the time. I went home for Thanksgiving, but it was just going to be too much to try to do it for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I remember going to go see The Curious Case of Benjamin Button on Christmas Day in Toledo because it dropped on Christmas Day. So I definitely remember that. So yeah, I love going to the movies in general. Holidays, it doesn't really matter. This movie was in the theaters for 8 weeks from November 11th until just before the new year, and it stayed in the top 10 for the first 4 weeks. So it did well. People came out to see it. It is currently streaming on Prime Video and Hulu. As far as awards go, there were 3 nominations, 0 wins. So we talked about the BET Awards before. Gabrielle Union was nominated for Best Actress, but it's not just for this movie. It's for everything she did that year. I think she had Being Mary Jane and Birth of a Nation. Plus this, so they combined all of that.
Well, that
and Monique,
one scene.
What, Birth of a Nation?
Yeah.
Listen, man. Listen.
Okay, go ahead.
This is no. That's why you and I know what I'm about to say. That's why I'm looking forward to talking about how nominations work.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. Monique was nominated for a 2017 NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture. Viola Davis won for Fences. So understand because Monique makes this movie, in my opinion.
Yes.
For someone like me who doesn't love it as much as Rachel, Monique really will bring me back every single time. Star-studded cast. Please bear with me. I want to give everybody their just due. Danny Glover, incredible, incomparable Danny Glover as Walter Myers. And timeout. Should have started the episode with this because I'm thinking about Danny Glover and I'm thinking about his incredible, incomparable, outstanding, meaningful, legendary career. And we lost an outstanding, meaningful legend within the past 24 hours, Nique Giovanni.
Oh,
and,
God.
Rachel and myself. I always think about Rachel and myself. I think we messed up. We didn't say Nique at the time, but everyone knows exactly who we're talking about. In our Malcolm and Marie episode, Rachel referenced the Nique Giovanni James Baldwin episode to make a point about something that happened in that film. So obviously, I don't want to spend too much time because there really aren't enough words to define her life. Please do your research if you're not familiar. Read one of her poems. Just beautiful tributes and beautiful words. Just being able to see her words resurface today on social media and looking at this, especially this time of the season, Rachel, to go along with what you said earlier. There was something about she had words about like choosing love and like let your people love you. And that's just an incredible message. And she's just a remarkable human being. She lived the best of her life. I think the tweet that I saw that summed it up the best. We know Nique Giovanni lived a healthy life, a full life at 81, but man, we really wanted her to be immortal.
Yeah.
And she left that kind of impact on the world. Rachel, do you have any words for the incredible Nique Giovanni?
No, I just hope that she knows how much she was loved here on this earth. I always credit Jill Scott for getting me like writing, but Nikki's poetry made me enjoy poetry.
So. Yeah, absolutely, man. 2024, man. Too many of our heroes and icons. Man, may she rest in peace. May she rest in peace, and her family find comfort during this time.
For sure.
Moving on with the cast, Kimberly Elise is Dr. Cheryl Myers. Romany Malco. Chill. Romany Malco as Christian Myers. Gabrielle Union as Rachel Myers. Jesse T. Utcher as Evan Myers. I feel like Jesse T. Usher. I feel like once Brandon T. Jackson?
Yes.
I feel like once Brandon T. Jackson
became a Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah. Once he kind of said "fuck Hollywood" and I'm not playing y'all games, I feel like Jesse Usher took his place. Like, I don't know if that's just me or I'm tripping, but I feel like every single role that I see him in, and I like Brandon more personally.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this on the Beverly Hills Cop episode on YouTube. There was a Beverly Hills Cop TV series that was produced.
Mm-hmm.
Never came to, it never got picked up. But on YouTube, you can find the pilot episode. It has French subtitles, but they speak English. It's a very entertaining 46 minutes. And Brandon Jackson did his thing in that.
That's that.
But anyway, shout out to Jesse. If you watch The Boys, you know him as A-Train. He's been in a lot of things. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about him as Evan. Monique as Aunt May Devereaux. JB Smooth as Lonnie McClay. Chatau. Nicole Ari Parker as Sonia, depending on who's speaking, Myers. Omar Epps as Malachi or Munchie. Nadege K. Bailey as Naya, which was Rachel's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Akoya Brunson as Cameron. Rachel Killian as young Grace, and A. Sabrina Farmer as older Grace. And we also have appearances from John Michael Higgins, who plays the campaign manager, DC Youngfly, Carrie Hilson, and Gladys Knight, another icon and legend.
Yes.
Movie Poster Hall of Fame, Rachel, does this qualify?
No.
It doesn't, but I will say this. It's a very good Christmas movie poster. There's all of them in the ugly sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
That alone, all these black people in these sweaters, that alone, without seeing a trailer, will make me watch this movie.
Yes.
Even though that's going to be ironic here in a second.
Oh,
classic or not?
I'm going to say it's not a classic. I really, even though it grossed $42 million, I still don't think enough people have actually seen Almost Christmas. It's a sleeper to me.
Okay.
But I'm not going to give it classic, but culturally relevant. Maybe not as relevant or significant as I think it should be.
Okay, interesting. No, it's not a classic. And I read a user review when I was just looking up stuff for this movie. So it's not like a Siskel and Ebert. This is just someone who watched the film and said this. I think it sums it up perfectly. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It brings what you want in a Christmas movie. Just don't know. They said, I just don't know if it has enough to make it a tradition.
Okay.
Don't know if one of those movies that you watch every Christmas, like every holiday season. And I think it is growing on that. Shout out to Blex Media. Obviously, if you follow Culture Garden page, we repost a lot of their things on our story. But they did this 25-day or 31-day watch list for Christmas movies. And I know Almost Christmas is on there. And I know it's something that I will watch it in the Christmas season. I don't hate this movie, even though I know it's going to seem like that. I don't hate this movie, but it's not a classic. I can't give it that. As far as the origin goes, really not too much to be said. David E. Talbert, who wrote and directed this, he's been writing for a long time and been involved with some work. On April 27th of 2015, it was announced that they bought the script. It was originally titled A Myers Thanksgiving. And Will Packer got involved, and then they switched the event to Christmas. And I think there's a scene in this, maybe the football scene, because that's more of a Thanksgiving tradition, playing football versus Christmas. So I feel like you can see the elements of Thanksgiving that they were trying to do. Then it got changed to A Myers Christmas, and eventually was titled Almost Christmas in April 2016. It's funny because the first trailer, or maybe a piece of a trailer, was released in April of 2016. And it made me think, do trailers normally come out that early for a holiday movie? I could see if it was like a superhero movie or something, but to have a Christmas trailer, you know what? As I'm thinking about that, I remember this Christmas trailer coming out early.
I was going to say low key. Yeah. Low key, and even lower, maybe even earlier for Black movies for Christmas, for the holidays, to get niggas out. Like, hey.
Let y'all know this is coming.
Let me put this in y'all spirit. I have a question. It's been bubbling on me since you said you hated this movie.
I never said that, but go ahead.
You mentioned David E. Talbert. Does this movie give too much like church stage play?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I'll tell you exactly what it is. But before we do, we might as well talk about first experiences. So I know you talked about it a little bit. You didn't see it in theaters, saw it at home. But what I really want to know is, what was it an instant, oh, I love this movie for you?
I don't think so. I think it was more of a, oh, okay, oh, that was good. I could have saw it in theaters. That's it. What about you?
Did you? So all right. So you said you love this movie. At what point did you love it?
I think it's randomly funny. Again, I forget about it, and then every time I watch it, I'm like, oh, that was good.
Okay, I got you.
It's funny.
Perfect. That's how. To a much lesser degree, because we all know the Fridays are funny. But I remember describing Next Friday like that because, and I've said this before on this podcast, Next Friday is like the middle child, right? A lot of times people treat, obviously Friday's Friday. You can't, one of the best comedies of all time. But also Friday After Next, maybe with the Christmas theme, maybe because of Money Mike and some of the things that go on. Damon, you have some iconic moments and people talk about that. And then Next Friday's just kind of there. Yeah. And for me growing up, I watched those two a lot more than I did Next Friday. And every time I watch Next Friday, I'm like, damn, I forgot how funny this movie was. And I feel like you feel that same way about Almost Christmas. Like, damn, I forgot about you, little homie. Like, you know,
for sure.
It's like finding that pair of shoes in the closet. Like, damn, I forgot I had these. Let me wear these today.
For sure. And I think when you mentioned like, oh, it's the holiday season, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
And we had already done this Christmas, so.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about some gripes. Okay. Let's talk about my first experience. So, admittedly, this might be part of the reason. To your point, as you said earlier, Rachel, you didn't think enough people saw this or haven't seen this. This is my first time watching Almost Christmas.
Oh.
Preparing for this.
Oh, it makes total sense now. Good.
Yeah, it's the first watch. All right, so that might be. It might be part of the problem. I watched it twice in preparation for this. Once again, did not hate it. It wasn't a chore. It wasn't. I mentioned movies in the past where it's like, yo, this might not get a second watch out of me. Like, I might do this off the dome because I'm not watching this movie again. It wasn't that. And it's enjoyable, and I appreciate it. I don't think it's fair or even correct to say that it doesn't have a soul, but there's something missing from this movie that I just don't. It's something that's supposed to connect that just doesn't. I don't care enough about this family as much as I should. And specifically, I've been on here and I've said how much I love this Christmas. Now, this Christmas is an every year watch. Okay. Every year watch for me. I try to think about this, Rachel. I was 20 years old when this Christmas came out. 37 as I watched this for the first time. Obviously, I have a much bigger connection with. Life was different in 2007.
For sure.
A lot of family members were still around in 2007.
For
Like, so the
sure.
idea and coming, like me in school, coming from a big family, a lot of that made sense, and it just connected. And I'm trying to figure out what I've really been struggling with is trying to find out why. Because not why I connected with this Christmas, but why did Almost Christmas not connect the same way? Because there's a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's a big issue with me. It's almost like they say, hey, it's been 9 years since this Christmas came out. Let's just remix it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about big family, ultra talented surprise baby, cheating ass husband of the big sister.
Yeah.
One sister who has someone from high school checking for him.
Period.
Two sisters that don't get along. A family dance scene, and probably other things that I had. A random white person, and probably other things that I didn't even write down. Like the similarities are there. The storyline is there. Like it's not saying they took a lot of it from it, but damn, it's ironic. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But why do I care so much? Knowing all of that, why do I love this Christmas so much more than this? I don't know the answer. And I normally do a pretty good job of explaining my feelings and my thoughts. And I have no idea. I've been thinking about this for 3 days now. Like, what is it? And I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I don't either. I'm sitting here trying to think.
Maybe as we talk about it, I can figure it out.
Okay.
Maybe there are too many subplots. There were a lot of subplots that I just didn't care about.
Yeah. I'll agree with you there. You really have me thinking about the quote unquote soul of this movie. I don't think that it's missing, but maybe it's not as pronounced as you think it should be.
Because I'm really, here's what got me to this thought process. As I think about this Christmas, if you ask me to explain why I love it so much, I can't really explain that either.
Yeah.
It was just a moment of time when that movie came out, and the cast and the feeling that it gives me.
You can contribute this Christmas to nostalgia. You can't do that with Almost Christmas, which is fair. I think in part for me, and you said it at the top, is that Monique makes this movie. You have to consider 2016, Monique is coming off of being blackballed after Precious and all of the post production award season drama that came from there. So this was like a semi-fresh start for her too around then, because I can't think of what else she was in. I think a movie, that Blackbird movie, and then something else along with Almost Christmas.
Yeah, it's a damn shame what they did. It's a damn shame what they did to Monique.
They did. It is. Well, let's get into it then.
Let me real quick. I'm just looking to see what was going on in 2016. Because Precious came out 2009.
Yes.
She was in Blackbird in 2014. TV movie named Bessie, and
oh yeah,
it was slow. Because
Mm-hmm.
Outside of 08, 09, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, Precious, and then after that it was just a couple.
Yeah,
it wasn't what it was supposed to be. Keep in mind, everyone, she won an Oscar for Precious.
Yes,
that's not how this works. You don't win an Oscar and then disappear. You win an Oscar and your career gets better. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I love Us for real. Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Let's get into it. Best scenes.
Into it.
Rachel, it's your movie. Let's go ahead.
It's mine. So we'll start where we start every single week at the intro, meeting the siblings. And Kieron, you sort of gave a general synopsis of the family in and of itself, but just getting that personal touch or the intimate glance or introductory glance of all of the children and see who and how they are, how they operate, what they have going on, who they are to each other, I think is key. Go ahead.
I think I just realized something as you're talking about family. Something about them seemed off. I feel like they didn't care. I'm big into family. And when I say family, I mean friends who become family, all of it. Like Kanye said, man, old Kanye. Old Kanye. My niggas ain't my guys, ain't my family, dog. So this Christmas felt more family-ish this, and maybe it's the grief. You know what, Rachel? Maybe it's the grief. Maybe that's what it is.
I think so. I don't think that in comparison, Kelly and not Kelly.
Cheryl?
No,
Rachel and Cheryl?
No, this Christmas. Regina.
I know you're talking about. You're talking about King and Sharon Leal.
And Sharon Leal's. Oh, that is her name is Kelly. Kelly's Cookies. They're dare I say disdain for each other, sister sibling rivalry was not as deep as Cheryl and Rachel.
Yeah, Lisa.
Yeah,
that's her.
Cheryl and Rachel have several siblings between them, so their rivalry doesn't make as much sense as sisters who are essentially back to back or backish to back. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And even though we get the montage in the beginning, I think another thing, and this is just me talking, like I have no proof to point to you. For some reason, it felt like they grew up together in this Christmas versus Almost Christmas feels like it felt like a movie. I don't know. I can't. That might be nostalgia. I think you put your head on it, but it felt I could see them growing up and having these issues in this Christmas. Almost Christmas just kind of felt. And I think maybe another piece of that, to this film's credit, at least in this Christmas, we had one of the siblings still living in the house, and the house kind of felt more real. The house is more of a character in this Christmas than it is in Almost Christmas. And even, I didn't even point this out, Rachel, another similarity. Both of them selling the house.
Yeah.
Right? That was something that happened in both films, or the conversation about selling the house. No, it was the laundry.
It was the laundry. Yeah.
Either way, selling something big. So yeah, I think maybe, and the grief. I'll give it some grace, because it's hard to bring the same type of joy and energy. Remember, everybody was excited to come in this. And I promise I'm not going to compare these movies the whole time. You can't do that. And I think Rachel's scene was perfect when she came in. It was like, man, it still don't even feel real. It just reminds you that, it's the holidays, but it's not the same for everybody. It's not, So I think that might be a part of it.
First time home, all of their first time back home since their mother passed.
I know they don't explicitly say it, but I think it's been 10 months.
Yeah.
Since the passing. So I also had the opening. First and foremost, I just love to see young Black love that you can see grow. I know it's a little small montage, but to see them, her bringing that pie, which the pie plays a big role in this film.
Yeah.
Her bringing the pie, him taking a bite, and them getting to it, and just seeing how the family grew over the years, and seeing that's their prototypical Black love that you want to look at. That's the legacy, the traditions. You see them moving on up. We find out later in the film he owns 6 auto shops, so he's not just a mechanic.
Yeah.
Like he really out here doing it. They in Birmingham. Everything that you want. Once again, we talk about regular Black people, like just people, successful Black folks, and being able to see them on screen. That's what you fantasize about. And then, of course, you realize that she passed, and what this looks like without a significant other or significant family member. As you said earlier, Rachel, that looks different for everybody, no matter who it is. Family, favorite cousin, grandparent, parent, whatever the case may be. And your pops is looking to sell the house. He's trying to master the sweet potato pie. The sisters have issues getting along. It just kind of laid out everything you need to know for the next hour, 40 minutes. So I can appreciate that. My next scene is a rental agency. Just a moment more than a scene, but just that introduction to Lonnie. You just know he's going to be a character.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because think about how crazy. Like, if I saw somebody I knew was doing this, like I might slap them in the back of the head. Like, bro, shit.
Come on, bro.
Like, just not knowing when your glory days have passed. Like, bro, you bragging about being a Croatia.
It reminded me of the scene in Why Did I Get Married Too?
Which part?
When
I hate that movie.
I know. At the beginning, when Marcus and
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
At the airport, and he's
at the airport.
Isn't that you? That's on the news. That's what it was given.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
nah, except for Cheryl was letting it slide.
Right.
But he's just the worst type of nigga, not helping her with the bags, flirting with this woman, having your cards on you, giving out to people, Chateau. You just know that what type of character he's gonna be. And I like that proper introduction for him.
For sure. Still trying to live out those faux glory days.
Yeah, man,
So
let it go. You know, Coach would have put me in. One of them type niggas, man. I always be aware of them niggas, man. You know, Coach would have put me in. We would have won the state championship in '95. Like, nigga,
who cares? No,
yeah,
you would.
Man.
So my next scene jumps us a little bit, but it is Aunt May's dinner where she cooks and prepares the global feast.
Okay, so let me start, and it's a tie-in because mine is her arrival.
Okay, perfect.
So not necessarily the dinner, but right before the arrival.
Yeah.
Just once again, we always talk about these intros, and the biggest thing is letting us know who this character is, right from jump. And you see her get out that car, and her first words: "May Devereaux, Johnson, Davis." Shit, there were a lot of them. Like I knew off rip this was gonna be somebody that I liked. She was very authentic. She meant that shit. Like she is not ashamed of what she is. And there's a beautiful moment towards the end of the film that I think ties perfectly with her character, her and a conversation she had with Walter. So many quotables throughout the film, and we all know someone like her. We all know somebody like Aunt May. And her with the serious stops, look at Walter like, damn, I forgot how old you are.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it meant that, like, I'm not even trying to, but you, because, you know, we always see the best friend / sister-in-law, whatever, and butt heads and have jokes, the classic Pam and Martin type of relationship. But this one seemed a little bit more lovable. Like, they can give it to each other, but you can tell they really care about each other.
I think it's because Aunt May is at least 7 years younger than their mother. So there's enough of an age gap where I'm not beefing with your little sister. Like,
and that's why that line was funny when she looked at him, because I really believe that, damn, I really forgot how old your ass is.
Like, right.
You
And
know what I mean?
She probably really meant Monique meant that shit.
Monique meant that shit. Not Aunt May. So yeah, absolutely that. And just the funny one line is, like I say, giving Stevie Wonder, who gave his blind ass a schedule, fucking with the tour, everyone arriving at that same time, and then you get that awkward Cheryl Rachel hug, which we knew earlier on the phone call, like, I want y'all to get along. But then you really see, like, this is a nasty relationship. I don't even like to hug. Like, what's happening here? What's going on? And I wish we had a little bit more backstory into that.
Yeah.
Because even in Soul Food, man, she took her whole man and married that nigga. They ain't even beef like that. You know what I mean?
All the Rachels and the youngest daughters, the baby girls.
Yeah, they don't like. Never mind. You know what?
I know.
You know what? Go ahead, Rachel. The dinner scene. Go ahead.
Trying not to say it.
I ain't gonna do you like that. You my dog, man. I ain't gonna do you like that.
I was trying not to say it, but if you listen to Another Week in the Books, so you know what I'm saying. The dinner scene, just because as somebody who has a couple stamps in their passport,
you're flexing.
I have never tried to recreate any cuisine from any land other than Cleveland. No. No, for real. I have never tried to do that. I have no desire to do that. So shout out to Aunt May for attempting to do that. And these children are in Birmingham, Alabama, or at least the surrounding cities, and maybe make it to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Black people are not a monolith.
Facts.
But I don't think anybody wants your milk balls and mukbang, this and the third, you know. And we don't know you to be a cook. Like, Patti LaBelle is known for cooking on the road. It doesn't give Aunt May was back there chefing it up. You know what I'm saying? Aunt May comes back and we're waiting. She's going to make us something to eat that she picked up. We don't get that experience. So for her to have prepared this whole spread that absolutely nobody fucking wants, I love that. It just was a good scene. Even Cameron being the scapegoat and or guinea pig to try the food, and for it to have been that one bite to have been running through him days later, even still, I just loved it. The back and forth again. I think this is the first time we see. You talked about uncle, cousin, husband Lonnie's character at the rental agency, but I think this is where we really get into who everybody is and what role they play. I think this is the real introduction to everybody is this scene, because Aunt May isn't the only clown. Literally everybody else is funny as hell too. So shout out to that scene.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I love Cameron. Kids will always give it to you real. Like, Cameron, either why I ain't doing nothing wrong. Like, don't put that on me. And even the line that cousin Lonnie had, like Uncle Lonnie, whatever you want to call him, but kiss my ass, Lonnie. You can put that on this plate, and I bet it tastes better than that. Because she was mentioning where she picked up these recipes. You probably haven't looked at this food since you were on those tours.
Not at all.
So and where you get this shit from? Like, where'd you get the ingredients?
Where did you pull this from?
I know Walter ain't
shit.
Exactly. But shout out to her for really trying
to do something.
Yeah, but I said it's all love. She really was like, I'm about to whip them. I know people coming.
Yeah.
We go ahead and get them together. And you said it earlier, Rachel. Even if it does look decent, nobody. When it's holiday time, there's certain food that you want.
That's it.
And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? You just want a certain type of food during the holidays. If we're going to do all this, we can order some pizza. We can order some wings, something like that.
That part.
If it ain't holiday cooking, let's order in.
And you get your bullshit food the couple days before the big holiday. You know, we can order some pizza, wings. I might even go get us a big family thing from some Italian restaurant. But nigga, these niggas in Birmingham, Alabama do not want this shit at all. Let alone the day before, in the coming days before Christmas. Like, let's be very serious.
Yeah, and they eat some shit down there.
And they eat some shit. Shout out to Alabama.
Shout out to Bama. You gotta relax.
My next scene is again a ways. I've got Uncle Lonnie on the roof with the Christmas.
I can't remember if that was before or after, but mine was pretty much the family drama when Walter had to yell at them on the steps because they were Cheryl and I was about to say Lisa. Rachel were getting into it. Christian was there, and it's the scene where Evan comes in in the end, and he's behind Walter, like imitating him.
That's
before. Okay, so not the whole scene, really just Evan, because it's something about just being the youngest and really not knowing what your siblings had to like. You lived a different life than them,
for sure.
Like you weren't around at the same time, and then when you were, like you were a kid, they was all out doing their thing.
Yeah.
So him just still having that playful spirit, and behind his dad, like just kind of messing. And then besides dad might look, he just kind of put his hands down. But there's just some funny moment. I don't know why it's so funny to me when randomly out of nowhere he just walks up and said, "Love you, pops. You gotta hug me back. I need it." Like telling him I need it, and like there we go, and then just bouncing. Like I don't know. For some reason that was just humorous to me. And Aunt May was like, "Y'all need to apologize." And you could tell this was an ad-lib line from Nique, which I'm sure all of her lines were, most of them. Your little ass got on the red bozo shoes. That's why you got to apologize. Look at this boy. And once again, Cheryl and Rachel coming down the steps. Yeah. Still like bumping shoulders. And Aunt May, look at this boy. Look at this young shit here. Push a bitch again. Push a bitch again. That's just some silly. That's funny. That is funny.
Monique. I love Monique. That is her. But I want to say, in regards to the Evan, I wrote down in my little random section, Evan was high as hell when he got to the house. Spoiler alert. All of that whole scene, Evan was high. You behind your daddy, beyond just being the little brother, your ass is lit. Why do you have those sunglasses on in the house?
I just feel like that's Evan. I just feel like that's his character, man. I'm not an Evan fan. Like,
I
so
know.
when we get to things that bother me, there's some funny things that he does, but I'm not an Evan fan at all.
Okay.
Not for the most part. I don't know. And even before that, I think the accident baby scene, I think that was funny. Just him, like I said, being that younger sibling, her calling him straight up, which is fucked up, low key. Like the accident baby in its unnatural habitat. Like, damn.
I can
I ain't no
definitely.
accident baby. Hey, be like
I
that.
can definitely relate. My siblings called me the mistake of St. Louis for years.
Oh shit! Hey, that must be an older sibling. I don't have no young ass baby sibling to really. You know what I mean? Your siblings out here felt like Joe Fox, and you was Matthew.
Bruh.
Where the fuck she come from?
Oh, still very much
him,
favorite, but
I just like the line when he locked her out and said,
as an accident.
I didn't lock the door. It must have been an accident.
Yeah.
It just bounced on her. That's just real sibling shit. Like, just I don't care. All right, and then was dancing in the kitchen after or before Lonnie on the roof?
Yes, after.
All right, go ahead.
That's my next scene after
Perfect.
Lonnie on the roof. Just because, again, this is everybody's first Christmas without their mother. And even though there's no snow in Birmingham, they still have all the Christmas lights and all the decorations and whatnot. And I'm assuming that was something that was very important to their mother, hence them continuing with the tradition to try to put all of them up. And for all that Lonnie is, shout out to you, Uncle Lonnie, for trying to put smiles on these children's faces who want to see Santa, this and the third. Now, they seem like a Black Santa family, so I was a little surprised, but shout out to that. It was just typical movie hijinks. I don't think JB Smoove gets the credit for physical comedy, and maybe he's not maybe he shouldn't get so much physical comedy credit, but I feel like he was doing his thing in this movie and in other movies that I've seen him. We talked about Date Night. Like, JB Smoove shines in these type of roles, so just shout out to him. I thought that was a really, really good scene, and it just was funny. Kids are funny, and them with their phones. Again, these are the children of the cell phone era, so of course they're recording everything, including near-death experiences.
Not only recording, nigga on the ground, they like, man, we should get a selfie. Like,
kids are
anything to go,
yo.
Anything to go viral. Anything to go viral, man. I'm with it.
Anything to go.
Shout out to everything you just said about JB Smoove, because he's really good in this movie. He does shine on roles like this. I'm a big Curb Your Enthusiasm guy, so I understand how people. JB Smoove might not be for everyone, but if you give him a fair shake, he's really funny at what he does in this particular skill set. I was about to say something. It's a holiday season. It wasn't about JB Smoove, but somebody was about to catch a stray that had no business. I gotta be better. Say what?
It's the holiday season.
Yeah, man. I gotta be better. Dancing in the kitchen. I know it's your scene as well. Cheryl and Rachel getting along. It feels finally now. I think at this point in the scene or the movie, which I didn't write down what time it was. Now it feels like, all right, y'all did grow up together. Y'all do have some memories and things like that versus feeling like it's manufactured. But that's just family. That's just being at home at the holidays. You got to think when you're an adult. And Aziz Ansari, the comedian, he made it wasn't a joke, but he was in one of his stand-up specials. He made the comment of like, if you really look at it and break things down, if you move away from home, like you're a certain age, like you can really count how many times you might see your parents again or see that, you know what I mean? Like you have to make that time valuable, and just going home and seeing the people you love and just feeling re-energized and feeling that feeling. I just thought it was a beautiful moment because there was a lot of turbulence and there's a lot of issue and drama with the family. But it was good to see, like, oh, y'all do remember how to like each other. Y'all got a whole dance routine. Like, it made me want to know more about that. Like, what was it like when y'all came up with this routine? What happened that it's such a rift now, other than just general, we're opposites and sibling rivalry? Yeah, and they kind of talk about that towards the end. But I just love that scene and that whole feeling because that's what the holidays are about.
For sure. I agree with all of that, and just the generations of dancing scenes or dance moves that come about, and music is the great uniter. Maybe I haven't said that here, but I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, music changes things. It lightens your mood. It makes you feel better. It makes you move your body so that you can dance. It releases endorphins. All of the things music is. I know I love music. To your point, it's the first time we see them be sisters, really, really be family. And again, including the children, so they can actually see us getting along and having some semblance of what a normal holiday was like. Because I would assume, yes, Cheryl and Rachel bicker, we know that, but I think when their mom was alive, they maybe were able to, or she was able to curb it a little bit. Like, all right, enough is enough. Like, it took, and as it does, it takes dads, especially with daughters, a little bit longer to be able to wrangle, because we're nuts.
Yeah, that's understood. And I will say this, because we didn't say it yet, their mom seemed like the sweetest person in the world.
Yes.
Like, literally seemed like the sweetest. Like, you don't even want to cause no static around her, because she doesn't even bring that type of energy around. Even when you learn about her, she always cooked, when she always smiled when she cooked. Like, she just seemed like she had such a pure and beautiful soul.
Like, us fighting would disappoint her, not just make her mad, get on her nerves, but like, oh shit, we upset mom, you know.
Right. Absolutely. You feel like you ain't shit.
Exactly.
I know I'm better than this, man. It ain't even that deep. So
exactly. I guess I'll move to my next scene. It pushes us down a little bit. Rachel and Munchie outside.
Okay.
Their kiss, not our intro in meeting Munchie, but not until they're back and forth. We see that there is tension. We know that they have history beyond being neighbors, but just that kiss, all of that, it's like, okay, it came to a head. It wasn't over. It wasn't over for me.
I have that written down, but I just want to shout out. I love, and I'm sure this wasn't intentional, because, or if it was, tip my hat to them. I love them arguing about prom. That's the same scene, right?
Yes.
And of course, the first thing I thought of, like, damn girl, I know my Nique made dresses. Loving basketball, even though it wasn't prom and loving basketball, it was still a school dance. So just thinking about them, and star basketball player gonna be easy. I'm like thinking star basketball player. It's just, y'all know me. If y'all ever listen to any of our Tyler Perry episodes, y'all know I like to connect these worlds from time to time. But it was just a nod to some classic black cinema, and I just always thought that was funny. I have a couple things before we get to that, though.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Very, very briefly, Lonnie at the grocery store.
Yeah.
When he meets Jasmine. So just want to let this be a reminder to you, fellas. Lonnie, for the first time in the movie, was just played it cool. Just played it cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I used to play a little basketball. Oh, who didn't? He didn't pull out no card. wasn't super thirsty. Just bounced. Next thing you know, Lonnie McClay, and that's all that nigga needed. The battery was in his back. He couldn't believe it. She knew about Chateau. Really fed his ego, and got a selfie with him. And obviously, you see that going and what it's going to lead to. Then I'll say the football game, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Once again, that's usually a Thanksgiving tradition. I don't know why DC Young Fly's character was in full pads. Like, didn't make any sense.
He's a ridiculous nigga.
He is ridiculous. So it did make sense, I guess, in that sense. But it was just funny to watch. And Evan shouldn't even be out there playing, bro. You in the middle of a season. Like, if you twist anything, it's a wrap for you.
Already coming off injury.
Already coming off injury. Gets tripped by Lonnie. And then Rachel and Cheryl had a moment. Because I feel Rachel. Like, Rachel went off. Like, bro, that's my little brother. And he out here. And this is listen. I don't know if I wrote this in things about him. Trust me, I have a lot of content. Maybe it's me. I feel like it wasn't. They didn't make a big enough deal about him being a star college player. Like, they talking about the draft. Like, he's about to be a professional athlete, and it was just kind of like whatever. And I'm not saying, I know that's how it is with family sometimes, but from the movie perspective, it just seemed like he could have been something else. Like, if you're not gonna make that a big, because that if any family, make that a cousin. Make that the cousin that just comes in and that's the story. I don't know. It just something felt off with it.
Well, for me, even though he was coming off injury, I just kind of always thought maybe he wanted to go to the draft, even though he had some recognition and he didn't seem like they weren't in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but Stephen A. Smith was talking about him.
Okay.
I'll say once again, holiday season. I'm not going to say anything about Stephen A. Smith. Got a lot of things I could say that I'm not going to say, but that's for another time or day. Holler at me in the spring.
Bless that. So maybe you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, just more of Rachel going in. Cheryl went deeper. And Rachel was just trying to defend her brother. And you don't even like your husband like that. So why are you shooting shots at Rachel?
Let me tell you, I wrote down here, if I'm Rachel, I'm fighting Cheryl.
All right there?
Yeah. Because you have started it every trip since we've been back. I'm on your ass. And if I'm not putting my hands on you, I'm cussing you the fuck out.
Yeah, I think it was due. It was ready.
It was warranted. By this point, it's warranted.
It's warranted, but I'll tell you what's not warranted. It was probably our next scene. That might be taking it a bit too far. And we might as well get into it. I don't know if you have anything else before this. Dinner scene.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you don't know, before the dinner scene, we have a moment where Rachel's in the grocery store. She sees Jasmine, played by Carrie Hilson. Obviously, there was a moment where I thought it was a dream sequence, but this nigga Lonnie really hit.
Yeah,
crazy. In the grocery store. Yeah, man. Wash your produce. They recognize Rachel and Jasmine. Jasmine recognizes Rachel from high school, and that's how it always works. Older sibling in your grade, kind of think like a man, whole thing. And Rachel sees the pictures of Lonnie and Jasmine because her phone's blowing up. I don't know if I've ever disliked anyone this bad, especially a family. I never. No. Not Jasmine. What I mean is, for Rachel to do what she did, I don't think I've ever disliked someone that badly. And definitely not a family member. Maybe there's some people out there, but not a family member that where I would have pulled this off during Christmas. Like, I don't know how many people I want to be that funny with. You know what I mean? Because that's hilarious. Like, and that is some funny shit, but that's a whole nother level of low. To invite your sister's your brother-in-law Sly to Christmas dinner is nasty.
It's gross. Howsoever, shooting my namesake some grace. Hello. She fucking started it. She wouldn't let it go. I'm coming off of my own bruised ego and hurt feelings. Embarrassment, because mind you, Munchie ass is also on the field and overhears you. I don't want this nigga to know I'm working at fucking Waffle House. I don't want this man who I have opined over for my whole childhood and secretly wish that things would have went differently to know how down bad I am, who I have not seen probably in the 10 months since my mother's funeral. You already done caught me outside in my robe. Embarrassing. And now my blood sister is trying to shit on me. Yes, we know that's your husband. But why are you coming at me that tough behind this shit? The person I'm defending is also your little brother.
Facts.
So if you catch me or your sister licking her wounds, doing something to make herself feel better, you cannot police the reaction. It just is what it is. If you start it, you've known me long and well enough to know that I have to finish it.
Do y'all see how Rachel flipped that shit and justified I just want to let y'all know, be careful around the Pisces, y'all. Proceed with caution. Proceed with caution. Because Rachel literally had me like, you know what? She got a point. I just called it one of the most disgusting acts that I've ever witnessed. And in a matter of 30, 45 seconds, Rachel was like, you know what? All right, I see where you're coming from. Watch out for the Pisces, y'all. Be careful. That's all I gotta say.
Y'all see how I be justifying my bullshit?
Yeah, you see, listen.
My pet called me vindictive as fuck the other day, and I was like, wow, that's harsh.
That's harsh. That is harsh. But you did that so effortlessly that it really had me sitting here thinking. That's why if you're watching on YouTube while Rachel was talking, I just started cracking into a smile. Because I'm sitting here like, damn, like Rachel she really out here convincing me. Like, maybe the sky is green.
Hey.
Maybe the grass is blue. I don't know.
Isn't it?
Hey man, Rachel talking cats off a fish truck. That's wild. But either way, let's get into the actual dinner itself.
Yes.
One of the best dinner scenes ever.
Probably the best scene in the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, without doubt. This is a scene you come back for.
This is a scene you come back for. This is probably a top 7 movie dinner scene.
So what's number 1?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I had
to kick it because
is it Why Did I Get Married?
Boom. Probably.
It might be. It's definitely the most talked about. Maybe one day we'll revisit that. Best dinner scenes.
We'll add that to the list.
Yeah. Bring it down the house. Got a good one.
Ooh, is mess. Yeah. I'd
have flipped that whole table over, Rachel. I'd have flipped that whole table over, man. Stop playing with me.
Real. Oh, shout out to the bear. That's a show, but
yo, might be onto something with that. That's one of the best dinner scenes I've ever seen. I know it's television, like you said. Yeah. One of the best dinner scenes ever. All right. Anyway, back on track. I'm sorry.
So we're at Christmas dinner. We finally, mind you, this movie starts 5 days before Christmas. So we finally made it to Christmas. It's here. And everybody is getting along. Rachel, twin, has called and disinvited Jasmine to dinner. But as a millennial, maybe Gen Xer or Gen Zer, she does not check voicemail. She's more of a texter. Howsoever, in 2016, did they have visual voicemail in 2016?
Nah, nigga. That just happened. Like, no, nigga. Well, you know what? In fairness, you're probably not that far off. You're not that far off. I don't think it was really there. Maybe she didn't have her phone updated, or she had a droid.
Damn, because the kid really had a droid, so tricky. But Rachel disinvites Jasmine to dinner. She doesn't get the message. She still shows up with potato salad, with paprika, not raisins. We learn, or the rest of the family has now learned, that Daddy Walter is selling the house thanks to Evan's outburst. In comes Jasmine, looking beautiful, lovely Gorgeous. As she want to be. Gorgeous. That is the one thing I can say about old girl. She's gorgeous, beautiful gowns. She comes to dinner, and Rachel tries to go and greet her like, "Oh, you're here. I gotta play it off. Lonnie Peeps makes his way to the kitchen. You know, he and Rachel go have a moment. He tries to talk her down. Cheryl interrupts. She comes in like, "Hey, nigga, get your ass back to the table." Like, whatever. The connection is made. Lonnie, I thought you had to take care of your grandmother.
Your sick grandmother Cheryl.
Me and my man, there are pictures. Shout out to Cheryl for letting it play. And this is how you do it.
Genius.
You let the evidence be exposed. So now you have a reason to clown.
Absolutely.
We passing around the phone and pictures of Jasmine and Lonnie. Nobody is shooting Lonnie any bail. He's doing his best to get the hell up from that table, to go back to the kitchen, to do anything, and nobody is having it. The best part of this is Cameron. I gotta see those pictures.
Yes, straight up. As a kid, same way. I gotta see what's going on.
But I haven't seen the pictures yet. I gotta see them. I gotta see what's on that phone. Please stop playing with me.
And having the presence of mind, Nique put the phone up and they streamed it from downstairs. So we not missing this.
Bruh, kids are.
We've all been kids. We've all been kids and been told to leave.
That's
shit
it.
get real.
Ain't no go listen at the vent. No go downstairs, but keep the door open. No, we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch from our phones.
That's funny. When you said listen through the vent, it made me think of Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, because there's a scene where Monique was listening through the walls to see what Roscoe and their dad and stuff like that was talking about with Said's character. That's how it works.
Ain't no cuffs to the door. So we learned that there is no grandma. And we're
just begging. My wife.
This is my wife. We're begging Cheryl not to go get grandma. We're begging her.
One of my favorite lines in that entire scene, that moment when they talk about don't get grandma, when Aunt May, Monique, man, straight up, because you could tell the reason part of where it's so funny, because that shit's serious. That's what would really happen in a situation like that. You really said, Walter, your old ass need to do something. You sit down here like you don't hear shit. Because for real, bro, like you see what's going on.
Hey, what I just say about them daddies.
Hey, but hold on, man. You know you know her. You know what that means. You don't want to be dealing with this on Christmas Day.
Come on.
She ain't got grandma and let it be known. But at what point, and I know it's a movie, but at what point are you at the table? Because if I'm at the table, I think the most humorous thing to me would be that Jasmine hasn't figured this out yet.
Bruh.
That would have been the kick for me. Like, I wouldn't have said anything. Like, I love when Lonnie was saying, hey, Christian, let's go to hey, man, I ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm cool. Can't help you out. I would have been there laughing my ass off, because when is she going to realize that this woman is his wife?
Here's the only reason people don't be having no fucking situational awareness, and that irks me.
Yeah.
But mind you, the way good Rach introduced everybody, brother, sister-in-law, kids, she never said a name. But situational awareness will have you peeping out the scenery, wishing a nigga would. It will have you looking at the eyes across from you, looking at the body language of everyone, feeling the tension in the air, sending the children downstairs. Why? Just because a random guest is here? No, they can eat. None of that said, maybe something isn't clean in the water. Maybe there's a fly in the milk. None of that.
Zero discernment.
Zero.
Absolutely not.
Cheryl comes back with this fucking double barrel rifle. I got grandma. And even then, Jasmine is still in fucking La La land. He's still not with it. If somebody with a gun calls me a dumb bitch, I just have to be the dumbest.
Gotta take it.
There is no rebuttal. There is not anything else I'm saying to an angry person, let alone a woman who seems to be getting increasingly angrier at my boyfriend. Who is this man?
Yeah. claiming him as your boyfriend after the grocery store is crazy. After a Piggly Wiggly hookup, and that's your man. And you can let me stop. I don't want to throw no shade to our women in the Deep South, to our sisters in the Deep South, but no, you know what? Nope, not going there. Christmas time.
I was gonna say Piggly Wiggly stink already.
Not even Piggly Wiggly. I was talking about just being so thrilled with the. And listen, this might sound very. Listen, Chicago. I love Chicago. I don't know if I'm bragging to people about, look at where, I don't, you know what? Fuck it. Keep going, Rachel.
It's okay, because I know what you're about to say. It is less of a Chicago. She is down here working the register,
right.
At the grocery store. She's geeked for Lonnie as if he's LeBron. A weekend getaway, if I'm used to getting dug out in the fucking stock room, it sounds like a lot more than what it is.
Fair. That's a very fair point. Also, shout out to Aretha Franklin. You said beautiful gowns earlier.
Oh, I was like, wow, is a rose still a rose?
No. You said beautiful gowns earlier, and it just made me think. Shout out to Aretha Franklin.
I did say beautiful.
The entire scene.
The entirety of the scene. Dumb bitch. If you're gonna bring some bitches, bring a smart bitch. I'm with May. It reminded me, even that comment, it reminded me of The Brothers when Jennifer Lewis, dumb hoe, ignorant hoe. that whole back and forth. That's what it reminded me of. But again, best scene in the movie, just because sometimes you gotta correct a nigga. I'm licensed to correct a nigga. Shout out to The Brothers again.
The brothers is out of pocket, man. She said a white woman with a talk. Hey, come on, man.
A white woman don't speak the goddamn English.
Hey, that whole scene was out of pocket, Loki.
So silly. But shout out to Cheryl being the best shot in the house. And sometimes you just have to scare a nigga. I'm not actually going to shoot you, but you need to know that I can if I truly want to.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show
niggas. And Lonnie needed to know.
Nah, Lonnie was playing.
Jamie should have been in his movie and his stand-up.
I got some text messages. My phone's on Do Not Disturb because we're recording. And it's funny because in one group chat, someone just said Jamie dropped a dud. And school texted me while I was recording at 8:59 and said, I heard that Jamie stand up funny. So mixed reviews. We'll see. I don't even know who said that Jamie dropped a dud because it's a group chat. And I don't
Let me know what you think after you watch it.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching it soon. All right, the dinner scene, obviously, and then Evan throwing a temper tantrum, storming out the house. We already talked about that. Lastly, for me, it's just the ending of the film. You get a lot of reconciliations. There's a moment with Cheryl and Rachel, which I didn't necessarily put down because if I'm Cheryl, like I don't.
We ain't back to school just yet.
Yeah, not yet. It's a little bit too soon. Like I get it. Even like I said, this Christmas, even their reconciliation, there was nothing that bad. Actually, it was the opposite. She's the one that told, like, he's cheating on you. Like she's trying to look out, and that's what Rachel should have done. But that's trying to embarrass me in front of the family on Christmas is wild.
You try
no matter what I did, I get. Watch out for the Pisces, y'all. But the pie.
Yeah.
First and foremost, you can't only just be making one pie. I know it's like a deep dish type of pie situation, but come on, man. Don't be making just one pie. But you have that beautiful moment, I believe, between Aunt May and Walter. And there's a moment where she mentions, I get to live out my fairy tale.
Yeah.
My fantasy, whatever the correct term was. And, just kind of reminiscing on life. I've been able to do this. And you look back and you reflect and like, everything that I wanted to do, I've been able to do. And my sister was able to do that because of you. And it was just so sweet and so sincere. Like I said, there was never a moment. I applaud the movie for never making that relationship too contentious to where I didn't believe it. but you knew there was genuine love there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, from the opening scene, we see that he was struggling with that pie feeling.
Oh God.
And for her to start like crying,
mm-hmm.
And just that feeling of someone who's not around and trying to perfect it and just keeping recipes.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like I never forget, and school can talk about this too. When our grandfather died, like that barbecue sauce died with him. And the family's still hot about it. We still hot about it. And there's a couple people that like try and get close, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one of those things he was just known for. Like I remember my pops, and this is my mom's dad. So my pops would always like ask him like $4,000. And anytime somebody would ask for the recipe, like nobody really got it. I think I'll ask school because he claims that maybe somebody has it. I don't know. But either way, I know what that's like. And to get it right, to get it perfect. And I love the excitement on Walter's face. Like calling the kids down. Y'all got to get some of this pie. Like I did it. Like it was just, once again, it felt so pure. And it made you forget that you're watching the movie. You just felt good for this man who lost his other half. It just has a moment of like just reconnecting with her.
For sure.
And all because, and it always takes kids to give us a message. All because, throw this recipe out, man. I'm just going to smile. I've been here long enough. I've seen you long enough. Let me just go by memory and remember all these good times and think of something happy. You were able to get it down. Very movie magic, but very touching.
I'll say a little Christmas magic.
Yeah, absolutely. But very, very touching. So, obviously all the other happy stuff that happened, the shelter gets saved, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, the movie didn't really do enough for me to care about that stuff. And you kind of knew it was going to happen.
For sure.
Shout out to everybody just being right at the end of the movie. We deserve happy endings. Yeah, so that's it. You got anything else to say about any scenes?
Nope. I the only other thing I had was Munchie and Rachel prom redo, just because one thing about me, I love a playlist. Not necessarily a come see about me, but I can make a mix. One thing, and I won't say it did bother me. Did they ever say why Munchie was living back at his mama's house, or was he just there for Christmas?
He was there for Christmas. There was a comment where he said, "I'm here for the week." When they first introduced him,
got it.
He was only there for a little bit.
Got it. So what are we gonna do?
We're gonna figure it out. Same way at this Christmas. Once again, I think I can buy my own plane ticket. I just needed an invite. I just needed an invitation out. Copy and paste. Man. All right, Rachel, best quotes. What we got?
Okay, and we said most of these. The African-American woman is the backbone of the family. Well, America, who wasn't raised by a black woman? Silly shit. Kiss my ass or put it on a plate. I guarantee it's better than whatever is on this table. You got on them red bozo shoes. That's why you need to apologize. The bigger the tree, the bigger the love. Corny but cute. Kids, again, having bars. Life is a whole lot easier when there's someone to help you carry the load, even when you can carry it yourself. I need to see those pictures. And if you're gonna bring bitches in here, bring a smart bitch. Come on now.
Yeah. Shout out to Cameron, man.
Yeah.
Good quotes, great quotes. I said most of mine as well. Damn, I forgot how old you are. Another Aunt May line. And where's the liquor, Walter? And I hope it ain't that dark liquor, damn it, because the dark liquor make a bitch want to fight. Y'all remind my ass when to laugh, okay? Aunt May, when they were clowning her food. Who you calling a dumb bitch? You dumb bitch, you dumb bitch. Hold on, man. Shout out to Monique, man. Who you calling a dumb bitch? You dumb bitch, young bitch, silly bitch, dead bitch. If you're gonna bring bitches in here, bring a smart bitch.
Period. And
lastly, the best quote of the film to me, especially this time of the year, the most meaningful. It was actually written at the shelter, and then Walter voiced it over later on. Our prime purpose in this life is to help others, and if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them.
Yeah.
Just always a positive message to live by, because you ain't got to bother nobody. I promise you don't.
Don't be sorry. Be careful. That's it.
Mind your business. Live and let live, man. We need more. We need more people minding their business in today's age.
For sure.
So shout out to all of those quotes. Scene stealer.
Okay. So
let's take Monique out.
Yep.
That's too obvious.
And JB Smooth is very close. But honestly, Cameron is my scene stealer.
Yeah. Nique, shout out to Nique too.
Yeah.
Nadej K. Bailey. Like, shout out to her because she's very talented for her age. In this film, obviously, it's been 8 years, but she really held her own, like acting against veterans. But Cameron is just hilarious.
For sure.
Like with the screen time that he had, he took advantage of all of it. Yeah, absolutely. Would you rather be a player or own the team? Like, Cameron was going places. As a matter of fact, in a Christmas story / new Christmas story type of way, I will watch a movie with older Cameron and just see what his life is like. And you can bring some of these characters back.
Funny as fuck.
You can put a sequel around Cameron. I'm with it.
Yeah.
And normally that's against everything I really believe in, but I'm with it. I like Cameron.
As long as he's not narrating.
Yeah. As long as he's not narrating. Come on, man. You know how I feel about that. But yeah, that Monique is obviously the clear answer, but that's way too easy. Things that bother you.
Okay. This is so petty and little. But
my whole list is petty. So go ahead, have at it.
They did not really look for that recipe tin. It was so easy to find. Y'all didn't move nothing. I could hear my mama fussing at me now looking for something that's literally right in front of me that I can't see. Y'all didn't move not one box or nothing to find this damn recipe tin. Where did y'all think it was? Because I would naturally assume it's somewhere in the kitchen.
All right. 1,000% had that written down. The only bail that I'll shoot them is that they probably thought Dad has looked all through these cupboards.
Yeah.
And we don't need to follow up.
Because
naturally, just like you said, Rachel, your first instinct is, of course, like you would automatically assume, like, of course he looked through this. So let's check some other places. But I was more so upset at Walter than I was them. Because, like, bro, are you eating? Are you okay? Because this is like, is this shit up here expired? And you're probably not okay. You're right. But is this shit up here expired? Because it's really just on the second shelf. And you haven't used anything on this shelf in the past 10 months. I get him. I cut him some grace. He's mourning. He's grieving. Lost the love of his life. Shout out to Ghost. But that really upset me how easy it was to find that 10. At least I wanted to be somewhere mixed with the pot and pans and like tucked behind something.
Right.
Yeah. Very petty, but also bothered me.
Also, Rachel turning the heat up on that mac and cheese and dressing, talking about some double the heat half the time is nuts. For a bitch that worked part-time at Waffle House, you know that's not how this works.
Not only that, Rachel, forget Waffle House. You grew up and you mentioned these recipes, which means you had a cooking mother. That means you've been in this kitchen plenty of times to see.
You're an adult.
That's not how this works. Yes. And you're an adult. Yeah, take all that out. You're an adult. You should know better. And not only an adult, like based off of Munchie and hers timeline, because 20 years ago, we could have been something special.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, they were 17, 18. So you're 37, 38 at this point. Like you not knowing that is you want to be a lawyer?
Come on. Even though I did forget I turned the broiler on real quick trying to give something some color. That's not what she did. Said,
that's not what you did. Yeah, that's different. That's different.
Silly as fuck.
Yeah.
This is another random thing. Even Christian agreeing that we hadn't been in a church since the mother passed was kind of crazy to me because you're a politician. You haven't already hit your church circuit. This your first time back in 10 months.
Right.
Tricky. That's really it.
Yeah. So you had two of mine for sure already. Evan Myers, just the character, not Jesse's performance or
yeah.
Damn, did I say his name right? Jesse Usher. It's not his performance per se, but just the character. Something like how they wrote him. I don't know. It just felt a little bit odd or awkward. I don't know. like I said, even, and once again, maybe this comparison's the thief of joy. I think if this Christmas, we at least got to see Baby with his talent.
Yeah.
Kind of use that in his dreams and aspirations, where I said earlier, where I felt like they didn't use that enough in this film. I don't know. I just felt like it was just pushed aside. But it just his overall demeanor, and I know they were intentionally showing he's the baby. Mm-hmm. He can get away with whatever. He's a title. He's whatever. He's young. He's 20 years old, right? Yeah. He's 20 in a room in a house full of adults.
Yeah.
So I get it. He's a 17-year-old age guy from his next closest sibling.
Ooh,
I get it. Yeah, because like I said, if Rachel's got to be 37, and we know he's 20, because I think the screen said he was born in 96.
Yeah.
And this film came out in 2016. He's in college.
Yeah.
So that's a big gap. Huge gap. So
of course families have their last baby in their 50s.
Right.
Good Jesus.
But Evan Myers, here's something that really pisses me off, Rachel.
Oh Lord.
And it's not this Christmas. It's not this movie. It's all movies that do this.
Mm-hmm.
You mostly see it in television now. Most movies try to make it realistic. But if you're gonna be playing an athlete, my nigga, you better be looking like an athlete, because that opening sequence when Evan is like grows, they had the montage where they show him growing, and then we see him in the jersey kind of doing the and he threw the ball to his dad. That nigga's never played a down of football in his life. And I hate when movies do that. Make him a drummer.
Him as a receiver.
He was a receiver, but even then, like, don't even have him throwing the ball. Just make him look like, because if you just let him pass, that's who he is. Because you can tell as soon as he threw that ball, niggas never played football. Then it's like,
Lord.
A lot of people make fun of like the high school. I think it was High School Musical. Mm-hmm. And there's always Disney Channel used to do this shit when you could tell these niggas is not athletes. Yeah, and that's just how he was, and it really just upsets me. And like I said, this is not an almost Christmas thing. This is every movie that does that. Mm-hmm. Like, get somebody that really looks like an athlete. We definitely needed a Black Santa on the rooftop.
For sure.
Small, but I had to write it down. If you don't hear back from Jasmine, you make it your duty. I don't care if I got to go back to the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah.
Don't come back. This is at least 18 hours before dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You have enough time. I can see if she's like, all right, she's supposed to be here in 15 minutes. Let me try to reach her.
Yeah.
You should be doing everything. You call, you text, you call again, you leave another message. You go to the store. Try to see. It's Birmingham. Not the dog Birmingham, but it's not the largest city in the world.
Birmingham is like
I know, right? That's why I say I'm not even dogging Birmingham. But you know what general vicinity she's probably in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you know somebody from high school that's still there. I don't know. But you just don't let that one call and voicemail slide and then cause all this chaos. Because this chaos led to a gun being pulled out. Like, you knew you was on some shit. Watch out for them. Any actors from The Wire? No. Wouldn't let that happen to me. It's not really a wouldn't let that happen to me, but something I absolutely wouldn't do. I'm never going to play my sister like that or my sibling in that manner. I would never invite their slide to, or their spouse's slide to family dinner. As funny as it would be, I'm not going to do that. I know that would break her heart or break his heart or whoever. Rachel, we're moving on. Yeah. Trivia. Obviously at the scene in dinner, when the argument breaks out, there's a line Danny Glover says, "I'm too old for this shit." That's obviously a nod to Lethal Weapon. Mm-hmm. If you're a fan of those movies, his character said that all the time. What other piece? Oh, another thing that bothered me. I forgot to mention this. When Evan was in the hospital, he had a butterfly bandage with no cut. Really upsets me. Once again, just continuity department, man. Y'all gotta do a little something. You don't need a butterfly damage if there's no cut. You could just put a regular something. He has bruises, but no bandage, whatever. Very small thing. But that's really it as far as the trivia. I don't think I had anything else besides that. Obviously, we talked about the connection. Go ahead.
One thing that I have is shout out to Monica, the waitress at the restaurant, and it reminded me of ATL again, where she was the waitress then. So I'm sure that was a callback to that.
Also, I got another petty thing that bothered me.
Go ahead.
That diner ain't had no. They ain't had brown rice.
They did not.
They did not have brown rice. I'm sure they had the chicken breast. I'm sure they had the asparagus. They had no brown rice.
Yeah, that is silly.
Also, one other piece of trivia that I thought was just interesting. In real life, Monique is actually a few months younger than Kimberly Elise, even though she played her aunt in this movie.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you're noticing or if you're wondering, hey, DC Young Fly has a lot of tattoos. They were edited out of the film.
Mm.
So this is not like pre-tattoo DC Young Fly. They just purposely edited all of this out of the film
to make them look wholesome.
I don't know. I guess make them look young. I guess because since Evan was supposed to be young, 20.
Yeah.
Even though young people have tattoos and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. Definitely not wholesome because he wasn't a wholesome person.
You're right. He was getting.
Yeah, man. Shout out to that, man. I feel it. All right, Rachel.
Yes.
We get to the end of the episode where we get to rate the film. The average viewer rates Almost Christmas 6.2 out of 10. Too high, too low, just right. And just for reference, you rated This Christmas a 7.5/8. Kind of said both of them. You rated Best Man Holiday a 7. And you rated Preacher's Wife a 7.5. 6.2, too high, too low, just right.
6.2 is too low. I'm going to go 6.9. Pause.
I think 6.2 is just right.
That's so low.
Is it though? Is it worth a 6.5?
Yeah.
I'll give it 6.5.
Let's
Monique alone. Monique alone is worth a 6.5. Monique alone. Funny, I made the references at the beginning. Almost Christmas 6.2. This Christmas 6.4. Right in that same area.
And that's too low too.
Yeah.
What else?
Rose, bouquet, whole damn garden. What you giving it?
Fuck. I'm gonna give it 6 stems.
Half a bouquet.
See, rose, it does not do it justice.
It doesn't do a job. I'm thinking about it right now. Even for all the smoke that I had for this movie, there's no way I can give it a single rose. I'll give it a bouquet. I'm cool with giving it a bouquet.
Okay.
I'm cool with giving it a bouquet. Sort of similar. I mentioned Jumping the Broom earlier. Similar. I said something in that episode. Never in life will there be a movie that stars Angela Bassett and I say it's too high. Ever. I don't care what the rating is. I'll never say it's too high. I'm gonna say the same for Danny Glover.
Okay.
I'm never gonna say too high. I'm never gonna knock points off.
Yeah.
6.5. That's my final answer.
6.5.
Yeah, man. Okay. I try to stay away from multiple sixes. So you'll never hear me give a 6.6. And it's definitely not a 6.7.
Correct.
So
wait, what did I give it? 6.9?
Nigga say correct. Told y'all, man. Told y'all. But I feel good. I'm glad we had the conversation.
Yeah.
Give it it let me, you know what this did? This let me get it all out because listen, make no mistake about it. I'll be watching Almost Christmas again. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Matter of fact, we had a kickback, Secret Santa.
I know. I'm very jealous.
Yeah, the college crew. We miss Rachel, obviously. She was there in spirit. But as we were playing, one of the games, this Almost Christmas was on in the background. So yeah, definitely gonna watch it. It'll get in the rotation. It's definitely in the rotation
for sure. And I went mine to a 6.7. Make sure you have that documented.
6.7. I got you.
Yes, and shout out to the comrades. Love y'all, miss y'all.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the comrades for sure. And shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you as always. We will be back next week. Rachel doesn't know this yet. I think we're gonna have a guest next week. Somebody that Rachel's been trying to record with for a while. And I went ahead and set up a play because there's a certain Christmas movie that I know this person loves, and we've been trying to find the perfect movie to have this individual on, and I think that's it. She was excited when I mentioned the movie,
Okay.
So as long as scheduling works, we're gonna make it happen. So I think our next episode we will have a guest.
Oh,
We'll save that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have more for that next week. Obviously, just stay subscribed, tune in. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for supporting us. We love y'all, Rachel. I love you.
I love you.
Shout out to school.
Shout out to school.
Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool?
Peace out. God rest you, merry gentlemen. It's Christmas time is here.
Hey, we out, man. Peace.